Horror Deconstruction.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction. You can find us at horrordeconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/horrordeconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehorrordeconstruction with your host, Alex, and
Admiral Adama.
And today's film is
Attack the Block.
Attack a Block. Why did I do that already?
Attack a Block.
I just felt like being tired and lazy today. Attack the Block is a 2011 action comedy science fiction / horror.
No, I've never really thought of it that way. 2011, yes.
Yeah, because I fucked up because I don't know how to speak English. It's a 2011 film directed by Joe Cornish, which features a teen gang in South London defending their block from an alien invasion. So, let's get into how this film works as a movie. Do you think it's more of a horror or a comedy film?
It's really not a horror at all.
Yeah, it's
I
more.
would never call this a horror.
It's directed by Joe Cornish. Joe Cornish has a history with the Edgar Wright folks. If you're familiar with any of his work, Edgar Wright is a guy who directed Cop. I was gonna say Cop Out. Oof, no way, he didn't direct that one. He directed, what was the cop movie they did? Hot Fuzz with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who's in this film.
And it's not really good, Hot Fuzz. Shaun of the Dead is great.
Hot Fuzz grew on me in repeated viewings. I think it was because Shaun of the Dead was so good.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like a perfect film for
Hot
what
Fuzz
it is.
was a lot better than Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I wouldn't even consider thinking about that film as a movie.
That movie
I would just think it was like,
horrible.
to me, I would figure that was just 3 episodes of The King of Queens pasted together as a film. Oh, fuck that.
No, King of Queens seems kind of funny in comparison. This was
really?
like
I never got
this is brutal.
I never got the appeal of Kevin James, so I don't know.
He's good in that Fireman one where he's gay with Adam Sandler.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
couldn't watch that one either. Anything after Billy Madison, I don't watch of Adam Sandler's, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Joe Cornish. Let's see. What is he?
He's known for corn. He makes corn.
Oh, that's very good. I literally thought you meant the band from.
Oh yes,
from
yes.
2000
He has everything to do with
John
Corn the band and Corn the food product.
It's like, so what do you have to do with that band? I was like, I love that.
He comes out high fructose corn syrup.
I think he's
very unhealthy. Every girl he's ever dated got fat from him, and then diabetes.
He had something to do with all the guys from all those movies. I don't know exactly what the thing is. I think he might have been a director of photography or something. I don't know, but I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Anyway, he directed this film. It was I think what they said is that he got the idea to make the film because he was mugged by a bunch of kids at night. And he saw that they were just as afraid as he was when he was getting robbed, so he decided to make this science fiction film based on that idea, which is pretty frightening. And it's funny because now he's probably really rich, and those kids are still like poor.
Yeah,
somewhere.
but now they can mug him again and get a lot more.
They get a lot more money. He's like, "Hello, oh no!" And he's like that.
Yeah, they come again. It's like an everyday thing.
Oh, I've got a sequel idea. Anyway, so it stars basically anybody we know from England, so I don't know.
The only guy that I knew from this was the guy who was his friend in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, Ed from Shaun of the Dead, who's Nick Frost.
From Shaun of the Dead. Nick Frost?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What happened? Why did those guys make that Paul movie with the alien? I think they wrote that one too. Oof. Anyway, so
wait, the what movie?
That movie Paul with the alien, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Never heard about that.
Oh, don't bother. Anyway, so the film starts out with this. I guess it's a made-up area called the Ends, which is like kind of a dirty version of South London. And there are pretty bad areas of London. And I think what it is, there's not a lot of guns. I don't think there's any guns really in England. Really, because even the cops don't have guns.
Not really in Europe or England in general. Everywhere except America.
They're not like us Americans. Not at all. Anyway, so there's a couple of young ruthless youths that are there, and we see something blast out from the sky and hit. Oh, actually, we just see this young lady. What's her name? Her name is
Samantha.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah.
Samantha is this young, I would say mid-20s, late 20s.
Pretty
woman come back from a job. Yeah, she's very pretty.
Pretty lady.
She's come back from a job and she gets a rude awakening. She gets robbed by these young kids. Now, here's the thing with this film. I don't know whether you're supposed. As a film person, you're supposed to not as a film watcher. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to eventually root for the kids,
Yeah.
but the film makes it hard to root for the kids.
They're not that bad.
No. But depending on what kind of person you are, like if you have dealt with these kind of kids in real life, like kids that are robbing you and shit like that, you're gonna be like, fuck them.
Well, the fucking guy who wrote the movie dealt with them.
Right, but these are like the super nicer versions of the people that actually did whatever they did to him in real life. So who knows? He probably got sodomized and he just didn't say anything. You know what I mean?
They're like, you better make us look good in your fucking movie. We'll do it again. We'll come back for you.
That's a pretty good English accent. So these
kids.
kids.
I can't even attempt it. I couldn't even understand probably like 1/3 of the dialogue of this movie, though.
So the kids in the group are.
So thick.
The kids in the group are Biggs, who wears his purple hoodie. There's Dennis, who's this kid who walks around with a samurai sword during the second half of the film. Jerome, who's like the fat kid with glasses. There's Pest, who's like the comedic relief, the little white kid, the chav.
I think Jerome might have been one of the zombies. Oh no, actually,
no, I know. I for some reason I figured what you were saying, but that was way before. You were talking about the fat black zombie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because he stood out to me too in that film, and I was like, huh, but
he's
no.
got such a particular face, and so does this guy, but I haven't seen him side by side, obviously. But it's not because I just looked it up. Okay.
Yeah. So they're led by this kid named Moses, who's
he's a Jewish guy with a big beard.
He parts the seas of garbage for them to walk through and get his people free. Yeah. And then they get lost for 40 years in the middle of the movie. Did you ever watch History of the World, by the way? With
Mel long time ago. I like Mel Brooks a lot.
When Moses parts the sea to let these people go through, and what happened was there was a guy holding him up from behind with a knife, and that's why he raised his hands and parted the sea. Anyway, so these group of kids led by Moses. Moses is this tough kid. I swear to God, the kid Moses, I thought he was like 22, and he's like 7. Maybe he is in real life, but the kid was 17 in the film. When he says that age,
15,
I was like,
15.
He says he's 15 in the movie?
Yeah.
I must have misremembered that shit. But right, he was 15, right? And then
he was 20 actually in real life, so he was like 19 or something when he made this.
Okay, because I remember when I saw the film, I saw this as a sneak preview before it came out because I heard Joe Cornish was attached to it, and the whole premise sounded pretty cool. To me, it evoked the idea of like a weird version of the Goonies meets.
That's what I thought. Yeah, Goonies.
The Goonies meets oh god, what's that movie? With the little monsters that turn into spike furballs.
Oh, Ghoulies?
No, not Ghoulies, man.
Yeah, Critters.
Critters, right. Goonies meets Critters, and it's funny, the director calls it, he called the thing...
Critters, right? No, we reviewed Ghoulie.
I think his nickname for the movie was called District 8 Mile or something like that, which is pretty funny, I guess. And it's this gang of kids, and they're,
It's very good. I took it as a like kind of ghettoified
racist
Goonies. It's not racist.
Is it ghettoified because they're black youths?
No, it's ghettoified because they're like
Louise, Daniel.
They're in an urban poor area where people mug each other. That's why it's ghettoified.
So they mug this young lady. They threaten her with a knife, but you could tell they weren't really going to do anything to her. And while
they were going to stab her and rape her dead body.
That was in the director's cut. And in the aftermath, when she runs off, they decide they're busy having fun with their spoils when they are almost hit by a falling, I guess, meteor type thing, which actually turns out to be a creature. They kill this creature, and it looks like what did they say? It looks like a fish that had sex with a gorilla or something like that.
It's like said. I guess I could see how it could look like that. Yeah.
It's basically this pale, fleshy creature that looks like just like we said, a fish having sex with a monkey or something like that. And they decide to sling it over the shoulder because we killed an alien. It was a pretty tense sequence, but these kids are pretty much I guess they're like assholes. I mean, they're not.
Yeah, they're like little punk snot-nosed assholes.
Yeah, I mean, they're not. The film doesn't try to make them be like the heart of gold.
They're kind of lovable.
Yeah, that in a romanticized way, right? Like it's almost like if you like Jesse James in a Western film. You know what I mean? It's that
They're way
kind of
more
thing.
Lovable than like fucking Alex from Clockwork or something like that.
Yeah, these kids are more like the anti-heroes, but given the fact that they're poor and they're they're young. So I guess that's the reason. When we're all younger, we've done stupid shit. But I've done stupid shit.
I've never done anything stupid.
Is it? You were always in shul, making sure you read.
I had those little hair curl pubes coming out of the side of my head.
I like the fact that I know that those are called payas and you don't, and you're one of the
I thought they're
chosen
called
kind.
zit or something.
Are they?
I don't know.
They force
Paya?
you to listen to Matasyahu records.
He was actually I grew up with him.
We go
Hey.
fly. Are you kidding?
Hey,
Huh?
let's see how you spell it. What are those Jewish things called?
Pious?
That's what I'm gonna write. What are those Jewish?
I think
What
those-
are those Jewish things called? This is my Google search. Let's see what happens.
Google's run by Nazis, so it's gonna
What
shut
is
your
the
computer
Jewish
down.
door thing called that brings you good luck? Okay, never mind.
Anyway, so these young kids they kill this creature and they decide as spoils to bring it back to the main base of their boss, who they I guess they're trying to impress. Well, Moses is trying to, I guess, come up in the underground, right? The underground or the underworld or whatever.
He wants to be the next runner-up to under this boss guy, I suppose.
The
or
boss, who's called Hi Hats, who's a pretty menacing fellow. He's a pretty interesting character.
Is he named after the drum?
I would
like,
assume that's the only reason they call it
symbol
Hi
or
Hat, unless he had a really huge hat that's in his closet that he never puts on in the movie.
Yeah, you're right. They are called pants.
He has a hat like Apollo Creed did in Rocky 4. It's just that big American Uncle Sam hat. And Hi Hats has this, his whatever, his little runaround guys that do his shit for him and shoot people for him. And Hi Hats is a pretty menacing villain. I like films that have multiple villains for different reasons. When they have like
Yeah, they got aliens and gangsters and
and I think that's a pretty cool selling point.
cops.
And so anyway, everything happens where more of these meteorites start crashing into the city, and they're directly hitting this block, which is a small section of I guess in the same way in the city they would be called they're not called tenements now, but
They'd
more
be called
projects,
project.
right? They're like projects.
Yeah.
So basically, where the urban people live. The urban youth. I know, I grew up in a couple. And these creatures start just attacking these people.
They're pretty fucking cool looking.
They're really-
I thought their mouths looked like eyes at first.
At the beginning, that's the whole point. At the beginning, they're like, "Oh, look at its eyes," because how would you explain what these creatures look like? Because they're very different from the
Basically,
first
like,
alien that they killed.
Big fucking Donkey Kong gorillas that are
Right.
solid black and have glow in the dark eyes, teeth that look like eyes when their mouths are closed because it opens up on either side to look like little circles.
They're really cool designs. They seem like something like if they were like a fucked up version of a Muppet. You know what I mean? Like they're just really interesting looking designs, like something that you would probably see out of a graffiti novel before you would see in a science fiction film. I like that they took that take.
And their
with it.
hair doesn't give off or take in any light.
Yeah, it's just pure black, and I love that design. I just love how sleek the movie looks. Like, it's just a really sleek looking film, and it has the same tight editing that
I like all the music too.
Yeah,
It's cool.
the music is done by crapola. They're
Basement
really
Jaxx.
famous. Yeah, look at the
Like you
music.
said, Basement Jaxx.
Yeah, Basement Jaxx. Basement Jaxx. If anybody's familiar with music in the mid to late 2000s, they did that song "Where's Your Head At?" Where's your head at? And it's like a
She
video.
called it 20 OOs.
They had a video of these monkeys with human faces. Just look up "Where's Your Head At" by Basement Jaxx, and you'll recognize who they are.
I don't want to look it up, ass. Stop pressuring me.
So anyway, the whole soundtrack is great. It's what kind of soundtrack would you say this is? This is more like it's like trip hop
fucking,
influence.
like dubsteppy hip hop.
Yeah, right. And it really adds to the film because it feels like this kind of new, like a fresh breath of just an action film. It is basically an update on the.
It also reminded me of I said this about another film recently.
Critters. That's what I meant to say.
Eight. Jesus Christ! The fucking it's the camera
Mel
one.
Gibson movie.
What?
VHS.
No. It's the name of a type of film camera, and they have like hotels named this. Also, damn it! It's about a bunch of kids, and they see a giant car crash.
Oh, Super
train.
8?
What is it?
Super 8.
Super 8. Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah, it's really good.
Really, I didn't
actually.
hear anything mostly overtly positive about that.
I
film.
thought it was amazing. It was like totally catching that childhood feeling.
So what did you think about this film in particular? Like, what worked and what didn't work? Because I'm hearing like differences in opinion from people. I personally liked it a lot. I could have liked it more because I didn't like the main characters. It's funny, the two characters that I thought were pretty cool were the only ones that died in the film. Well,
Oh,
out of the good kids, you know what I mean? Because I was very surprised that they actually killed some of the kids in the movie.
right.
But go
I was
ahead.
happy that they showed what's his face got killed. Hi-Hat's his fucking nose got ripped off and everything. It's
Yeah,
like
but
a few gore scenes
the
actually.
thing I like that they actually gored up Hi-Hat's death. The only thing that I didn't like about that, they did the total like predictable thing where one character's looking at the other, and the other character's looking at him really badly, and he goes, oh, and he's like, "What you looking at, mate? What you looking all off?" And he's talking all that stuff. If I saw somebody looking at me very strange and they're looking over my shoulder, I would run right through the guy. I would push him out of the way and just keep running. I don't know why they haven't done that in a film. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
The only time they acknowledge that in
do you
movies.
expect them to trick you or whatever?
The only time they acknowledge that, well, I guess that's true. The only time they acknowledge that in films is like when a guy is talking some shit about someone, and they go, "They're like there, right?" And then it's like the gag, I guess. But in this one, that's the only thing I was like, "Ah, come on, you could have done something better than that."
He could have like farted on them or something.
Shit
he
his
could
pants.
he could have like just farted out some bullets.
What'd you think of the gore in the film? Pretty good. Pretty
Yeah,
surprising.
very
I was
good.
like,
very,
oh, I didn't.
used very sparingly. But
I mean, I felt that there was gonna be good gore in this film, so I was because of the gore that was in Hot Fuzz, you know, because that movie was pretty gory.
I don't remember gore.
Remember Hot Fuzz, the guy who was next to the church and the tower fell on him and impaled his head right through his body?
and it all was like a setup by the town.
Yeah, that was funny. But what do you think worked with the film?
Wait.
Actually, let's start out. What did you think didn't work with the film?
It was a little too long. It kind of dragged.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I
But,
kind of feel like
yeah,
I kind of feel like they wasted footage with Nick Frost being in it. I understand why they brought Nick Frost in it. He's
kind of had no purpose.
right. He was there to be funny, but he's not that funny in this film at all. I mean,
Yeah. Well, his presence is.
it seems
funny.
like they were trying to force weed jokes in the movie that wasn't even funny. Like it was. Do you know what I mean? Like it was trying to be.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
It was like, I think I'm gonna smoke. He's got lots of weed. Oh, and people laugh. I'm like, what the fuck? Who cares? It's not that funny, man.
I've never thought weed is like funny. The only time.
Yeah, I
ever
don't get
is,
the. I don't
what's
understand.
That fucking Dave Chappelle movie.
Oh, that was great. That was fucking
Half baked.
You
That's
know,
a good movie.
because they weren't making weed jokes. They were making jokes about how it affected people. You know what I mean? That's what made it funny. They weren't making. He's got lots of weed, and then they're waiting for people to
Well, a
laugh.
couple of jokes were in there were like that, and then like. I've never actually seen a Cheech or Chong movie. I don't know. I guess
I don't know.
just
There's something
care about
weird.
the
There's something
topic.
weird about weed culture where one thing is funny. Like there's a whole thing of looking at naked girls that are surrounded by like cannabis. I
It's just
understand that. I understand the naked girl, right?
Yeah,
But I don't understand when you have cannabis all like piled up where her privates should be showing. Doesn't
I
make
don't
any
know.
sense. But anyway, in this film, it's a lot of like they force these characters like was it Brew? The
Brew?
young guy, the guy who's listening to KRS-One.
The little kid ones.
No, the other white guy in the film, the skinny white guy that seems
Oh,
like
the
he
one
has
his car
no.
gets destroyed?
Huh? Yeah, him. Like he serves no purpose in the film at all. I don't think he serves any purpose.
No,
in the
he
film.
did. He's the one that came up with the pheromones theory.
Yeah, but they could have just given that to somebody. They could have given that to Jerome of all people to do that shit. The fat
He
kid.
watches bug stuff. That's his character.
Oh,
That's
I
how he
guess
knew
so.
about pheromones.
I guess so, but other than that, I was glad that they didn't. I had this idea that they were gonna force him to like fall in love with the main girl Sam.
Yeah, I
you know?
actually thought they were going to do that too.
But Sam says she had a boyfriend, so I was like, oh, I'm glad that they didn't force any weird relationships or anything like that. Like she says her
Yeah, but
boyfriend's out of
afterwards,
town.
once they get out of jail, now that she lives in the same building, she's probably not going to move now. He's going to be banging her like nonstop.
She's gonna be sitting on that 15-year-old huge black schlong. Is that what it is?
I don't know if that guy's 15. He
in the
seemed
movie,
older.
in the movie, his character is very
He
young.
might. No, not even in the movie. I don't think his guy was supposed to be.
No, he says his name explicitly. I mean, he says his age explicitly, like around either it was 15
Not
or 17.
Moses. I'm talking
Moses,
about
right.
the.
Oh, that kid's like his 20s or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But anyway, those two characters seem like moot. Like they, besides the whole bug thing, I guess that would make sense to have it. But then that just completely obliterates Nick Frost's character. He just doesn't seem to be of any use in the film. But other than hey, it's Nick Frost in the movie. You know what I mean? They
Right.
could have easily just given Nick Frost all of that kid's the bug kid's
I like his hair.
lines. Yeah, nice hair. Anyway, Hi-Hats is a good villain. He has some cronies that get some pretty brutal deaths, and the monsters are fucking awesome looking. Like
They are cool.
I'm very surprised at how simple their designs are. I'm trying to think of What other
They
monsters
look
like?
exactly like giant gorillas,
Right.
but their teeth are awesome and they don't have eyes.
Because these characters, they and what did you think about Sam, the main character, besides her being pretty?
She's really hot.
She's a very pretty English girl. Why do you think? I mean, I don't know much about English cinema.
She looks like Kirsten Dunst, but prettier.
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
get that from her at all.
No, she does.
Because I'm not an asshole. But
No, you are an asshole.
Oh, okay, I forgot. Oh, that was the opposite reason. But she's
Don't ever forget that.
I like her. I won't. I'll put it on my wall. It'll be like the what's that?
Oh, and she's my age. Great.
Is she? All right, time to get some numbers, my brother.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
I
yeah,
definitely
she's-
have a cancer.
She's not a useless heroine in a film. Like, she's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah,
she's realistic. Even when
nurse
she's,
and-
because apparently the whole film, everybody, since all these people live in the same district, that she ends up is forced to work with Moses, the same
You
people
know what
that
I
robbed her.
understand is, okay, so you figure out the aliens, they want to mate. So then Moses is running with the fucking alien on his back, and they're trying to bite him. Why are they trying
Because
to
they
bite the one
think
they want to
that
mate with?
they probably think he's a male that is running off with her body. So what we didn't say is that the pheromone. They're wondering why these creatures keep attacking them, because these creatures keep running after Moses and crew. Is
They
because
want to
they're
have sex with Moses.
Yeah,
they
they're
want to
co-
see if it's true. What
they're
they
covered
say.
in pheromones of the dead body of the female. So basically, what we figured out is Moses, being a dickhead with his friends, killed this creature and basically caused all this mayhem by killing this creature.
I mean, imagine if he hadn't killed it. They'd be
Right? Yeah.
fucking
No.
thing, it'd be getting
It's
burnt
a
everywhere.
damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I think what that was that the creatures were smelling her scent, and he had the creature on him. So they probably figured he was running away with her. Like, you know what I mean? Does that
Yeah.
make any sense? And that's why these monsters are attacking her. But everybody has these pheromones on them, and they're trying to attack her because they're probably thinking it's a female, and then when it's not, they just kill them instead. That's how I took it to be. And
Okay, I see what you're saying.
so
I
what-
thought maybe they were like praying mantises and they have to kill when they have sex.
what do you think were the negative aspects besides you said it running too long?
It could have. I don't know. I mean, it's like almost there. I can't explain exactly why.
Yeah, it's not a
could have been a better movie.
yeah, it's not a
something
perfect
about it.
film. They could have cut a lot out. And,
Yeah, if it ran shorter and there was like a little more gore, and a little more character development, and I would have been happy.
yeah, I think what it is that we were stuck with a certain group of kids, and plus, I mean, I felt like an idiot because I remember.
And Alex is scared of certain types of people. I won't say what type, but Alex
Is
in
that true?
particular.
I thought that was you.
No, well, I am too, but you're more.
You're just making explicit that it's me, and I go to white racist websites and write about it every night. Is that what it is?
I have my zits and Peos to keep me company.
With Matzos
so I
crackers
know
and
I'm in the
stuff like
chosen ones.
that? You don't got to worry about it.
I'm the word of God, and it doesn't matter to me about anyone
Does
else.
the word of
That's how
does the
I
word
see
of
it.
God scream out racist epithets and stuff?
Uh-huh. I'm like Mel Gibson. I'm like Mel Gibson's evil twin.
Funny enough, I just saw a Mel Gibson movie before we talked. Get the Gringo. It's really good. Why couldn't he just shut up about Jewish people and blacks and everybody else? He's a good.
Well, he was in or he's gonna be in Machete too, supposedly.
Oh yeah, he is. He's
which
also
is awesome because
he's in another movie called Attack the Blacks. So we'll see. That.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, it's the sequel to Attack the Block.
It's just him running around. The Jewish
Him
people
running
and the blacks
around,
in the
like,
neighborhood.
screaming, and then Danny Glover comes out as his partner. He just shoots him in the face.
And Danny Glover's like, "Oh, what happened to your rigs?" Anyway,
Like, I'm too old for this shit.
so the film fucking is good. I gotta know how much we can speak about it, but the editing is awesome. It's just sleek. The
Cool
action
music.
is pretty good, huh?
Yeah, good acting, cool music, good.
Like
editing.
my favorite characters were Jerome. Well, not my favorite, but I mean the characters that I least hated out of that group of kids. Was
like them all,
I didn't hate
actually.
them. It's not that I hate them, but I didn't. I
The
wouldn't
kid who
have.
got bit on the leg. I don't know what his name was.
That was the little bratty kid, right, with the jokes. Pest. That was
Yeah.
Pest.
It makes sense.
That's
though.
because he likes a lot of pesto sauce.
Oh, yeah.
They never really went into it. He was a big grease ball. Is that racist? So, the kid Dennis, who was like this, I guess he was a half Asian, half black kid with the samurai sword on the motorcycle. Like he looked cool, but he didn't really get to
Yeah.
They just.
like the little tiny kid, little black kid, Mayhem or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. You mean the one with the little white kid, the two
No,
kids?
the one with the little white kid, but the black kid was like all scared and shit, which for some reason made me like him.
Yeah.
And,
You just like scared children. Is that what it
yeah,
is? You get the power over them.
that's totally true.
But the film, what do you think were the best parts of the films here?
Yeah, it had really cool creature effects.
What kind of film?
I'm not too into CGI, but I think it was okay in this.
I mean, it has a good arc, and they have a good reason to have these characters interact with each other, and they in a realistic way, where this girl gets robbed by these goons, and she has to, she's forced to work with them to battle this threat, which they're directly, affected by because of these pheromones of this creature that they killed earlier.
And you have to repopulate the block afterwards because they lost a few, so she's perfect.
And she has to go back to the alien planet since they killed that one female. She has to fuck all those gorilla monsters and have their babies.
Gorillas with their teeth, yeah.
That's where their penises are. Those weren't penises. Those are
their tongues. Their tongues actually come out.
There you go. Super vulva time. But no, it's a really good movie. I don't know what else I can say because it sounds like we're talking half shit because half of it was Mel Gibson. But I think that's good enough.
There's not much to say about the movie. It's very simple.
It's very simple. It's basically Goonies meets Critters. It's basically what it is, but in a very high concept way, and it's very slick and very sleek looking. And I believe there's a sequel. I'm not sure coming up.
It's very slick, especially the scene where they repopulate.
The main kid playing Moses is a good actor. He's just like really stone faced, and he gets this cool scar on his face, and he just looks like a badass. So he's pretty cool, and he's trying to earn the respect of this bad guy, Hi Hats, and by the end he gets the respect of everybody at the end, which is pretty cool. And it's not a very cookie cutter nice ending for everybody. It's pretty cool. So what kind of rating would you give this film?
I'm gonna give the film like a 7.5 because it was pretty good, but I've seen better. 7.5 out of 10. Repopulating the alien race and gorillas, train riding poor Sam.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Arguing or being very menacing towards somebody while your back is to a window and he's looking over your shoulder, very frightened, and you don't do anything about it, but just keep talking shit.
Right.
So, with that, what's the next film? I didn't give you time to choose. Right? You're just like, hey.
Oh shit! Actually, I didn't think of one. Wait, you know what? Let me think about this. Hold on. The next film is Bug.
That didn't sound overly produced.
It wasn't our fourth take of trying to record me saying that.
With that, thanks to the geekylatina.tumblr.com for suggesting the film. That's the heart of the construction. Danny, what's the final word?
Poofy.
The horror deconstruction.